Hi, welcome to NDE TV. I'm Peggy Robinson, and this is my husband Jim, and today's guest is Dr. Pandey. He is the University Professor of Biochemistry at the University of Windsor, Canada, that discovered the dandelion root extract's effect on cancer. Now, it's going into clinical trials now.
It was
Oh,
approved for clinical trial. It went in, but due to lack of funding, we could not carry it forward, and the technology was transferred to a company, AOR Canada in Calgary, and they were supposed to complete it, but they somehow didn't do anything.
wow.
But it has been approved for phase 1/2 clinical trial by Health Canada already.
How long has it been approved?
It was approved in 2015, so it is quite some time.
Yeah. Which, just me who knows nothing medical reading this and, trying to find something to help my husband was so frustrating. Like they've known this all along, and here we are.
Yeah, and it was approved, and they went into the recruitment of the patient was very slow initially. We were funded by a grant from John H. Foundation in Vancouver, BC, Canada. The oncologist here had a condition. They were recruiting only the terminally ill patient who do not have any other option. And also they had a condition that the patient should be in good health. Those two are contradictory. If you are terminally ill, you are resistant to all the treatment, and your cancer is advanced, it is very difficult to have you in good health.
Yeah.
Later on, Dr. Ham modified it, and she did recruit 5, 6 patients. Um, but the trouble was it was still very slow. In 3 years, 5 patients is not a good number. And we had at that time a startup company, and getting the doses for clinical trial were very expensive because it was a small amount we were ordering. So the company AOR Canada, which was preparing the doses for us, they expressed their interest that they will take over, and we handed it to them. We had a meeting in a conference with the Health Canada representative, and they suggested that for material like this, which is already safe to consume, because dandelion root has been approved for human consumption in Canada. There is a list called monograph list. It is on the Health Canada's monograph. So there is no toxicity associated with it. So it should not be undergoing phase 1 clinical trial, which is generally done for toxicity. And they suggested that it should be, or we should go for supplemental trial, which is people who are already on a standard treatment, they can take this as a supplement and see if it makes any difference compared to the other group, which is not taking any. So that way, a company or the manufacturer can get a claim that this material can help with cancer. The Health Canada's requirement was, although before they approve it, we have to provide scientific proof that this material, dandelion root extract, does not interact negatively with chemotherapy or with standard treatment. Negatively means it should not hamper or inhibit the effect of chemo. Doctors are very wary about that. So they said scientifically we have to do those experiments. We didn't have any funding at that time to do this study, but then Prostate Cancer Canada, they came to us and they helped us out. And we did complete that study with drug NHP, a natural health product interaction in prostate cancer. And it was a very good results. If at all, there was a positive interaction. There was no negative interaction. It was helping or enhancing the efficacy of chemo. So much so that if you use dandelion root extract, you might decrease the doses of chemo so that you can reduce the toxicity. That work was published. We communicated all this information to the company. But to my disappointment, AOR Canada has not moved forward. And actually, I'm trying to convince the university to take back the technology for them. They keep saying that we don't have funding, we don't have money. Unfortunately, that is where it is. On the other side, people, as I told you, with our legal office, we did prepare a memorandum where people inquiring about this, we provide the information, first declaring that we are not health professional, we are researcher. And you can consult your doctor. And if and only if he or she agrees, you can prepare dandelion root extract at home and give it to the patient, or take it yourself and see if it helps. How this came in our knowledge, the amount and how to do it, I believe I shared with you a case report which was published of Mr. DiCarlo. And he was given this dose, 25 grams of dry root, ground and boiled in water to make tea. We had a specific condition, it should boil for minimum 10 minutes just to make sure it is sterile, so that it doesn't cause, most of the people taking are immunocompromised with chemo. So once it is done, then you make the tea in 2 cups of tea, water, and after filtering it, whatever you get, divide that into 4 and take it 4 times. Okay. This dose was not a clinical practice, neither we have done any trial. This is how Mr. DiCarlo was taking it. And he went into remission and remained leukemia free till he died in at the age of 76 or so. And he died not because of leukemia, he died because he has some cardiovascular condition before. Okay. So that is what we call Mr. DiCarlo's protocol. And he identified himself to the media and he described this is how he's taking, and he became our hero patient. After that, when we were getting the inquiry that can we take it, it was very difficult for me to say yes or no. I can't say yes because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health professional. I can't say no because the person is dying or suffering. He's just looking for this help. And I knew that some people have been benefited with it for sure, Mr. DiCarlo including. So why not share that simple information with anyone? That is where we spoke to the legal service at the university. I expressed my frustration and told them that without crossing any line, without breaching any ethics, can I share this information? So that is where we prepared a document declaring ourselves out of it first. And then we say you can follow Mr. DiCarlo's protocol.
And that was in 2012?
Yeah, 2013.
Okay.
And since then, many people would be taking, again, as a part of ethics, I cannot ask a patient, how are you doing? Did you take it? Because I'm not health professional. It is up to the patient whether they want to share their information with me or not. So if they send an email responding to not my query, I don't inquire, but if on their own they send that information, I just remove the ID of the patient, just put that as a case number and file it in electronically. So far we have got 157 case reports. Again, as a scientist, it is not easy to accept anecdotal evidence. I am not very big fan of anecdotal, but this material was tested scientifically in the lab. It did show the anti-cancer activity in a variety of human cancer cells. When I compared that with Taxol or with vincristine or with cisplatin, it was as good as those chemotherapy in Petri dishes. Advantage was it was extremely selective. While those chemos were very toxic to healthy cells, dandelion root extract did not do anything to healthy cells. or non-cancerous cells. So knowing that, I was very surprised. Actually, I was not a big fan of natural extract, but after doing this experiment, which was suggested by Dr. Ham herself, she is an oncologist, my collaborator. She wanted me to test that because one of her patients was taking the tea and having some response. My whole scientific idea just changed forever. We just missed the boat. This work should have been done in 1950 or after, but people just ignored it. There was a big drive by the Institute of Cancer in USA, NIH Institute, to look for anti-cancer agent. They screened lots of plant material. And from that, they did isolate Taxol, vincristine, vinblastine, but they purified that compound and then synthesized that compound, pure compound. They never bothered, or still people are not very curious to see the total plant extract and see if it has the same anti-cancer activity. Why total plant extract like dandelion root extract you have? Two reasons. Number one, the total plant extract, which have been used traditionally by many traditions for years and years, if they were toxic, it would have been discontinued. People wouldn't be using it. So by and large, this natural extract, a total plant extract without purification, without adding any chemical, generally they are well tolerated. They are not toxic, or they do not have adverse effect. Number one. Number two, to get these materials approved for human consumption in case of diseases, it is easy because it has been, as I told you, in Health Canada's monograph list, these are listed as a non-toxic human, safe for human. And number three, another point, sometimes there are multiple compounds in the extract. And we did find in our experimentation, in dandelion, there are 4 or 5 compounds which may have anti-cancer activity. But when they are purified, their activity is very poor. You require very high amounts to kill the cancer cells. But in total extract, when they are present all together, they are present in a very, very tiny quantity, 1,000 times less, still they are very potent. So what I mean, those multiple compounds in the total extract might work together in synergy on cancer cells. So not only the total extract is safe and doesn't have toxicity, it has better activity too. So that is where we were. And after that, not only dandelion, we went on. Actually, there was a foundation in Toronto, Jesse and Julie Rash Foundation for Lymphoma. They funded a project where we screened many natural extracts, including white tea and rosemary, chamomile, many of these traditionally used material. And we did find lemongrass extract and white tea did show very good activity. Currently, we also work with Maiteki mushroom extract. That is a company which is in London, Ontario. They contacted us. That also shows promising activity. The company is running a clinical trial currently. But for all these materials, for white tea, there is a company in India. You know what white tea is? White tea is unprocessed tea leaves.
Okay.
Green tea is partially processed. And black tea is fully processed.
Okay.
So green tea has been very popular. Lots of work done, even clinical trial, that it has a compound which have anti-cancer activity. But white tea people didn't bother. I don't know why. Because most naturally occurring compounds will be present in the unprocessed material. That is white tea. But it is very expensive. This company takes not even drying the leaves, fresh tea leaves and extract them. And we call it synthite tea. That one was already tested. It showed good results. the company in India planning a clinical trial with that. Coming back, dandelion root extract by far have shown the best results, including 157 anecdotal evidence, with last case sitting in front of me, Jim. And it is so nice. Uh, there are 6 colon cancer patients who responded very positively. And one of them I know, I don't follow them up. I told you that I am on ethical conflict. I cannot ask a patient unless they share the information. So one person who's sharing, he has been on Dandelion Root since 2012. And this is 2025, 13 years. He was declared terminal actually, but the doctor said nothing can be done. It was already moved to lung and liver, stage 4. Multiple chemo they did. He was not responding. On top of that, he was in very poor health. He was not willing to take him. He had given up. He said, let me die. Apparently, his daughter convinced him to take it. And within first dose to the fourth dose, next day, he started feeling better. The cancer was there, but just feeling a little bit energetic. And for the first time, he asked something to eat. He has not eaten through mouth for 1 month. So that was very interesting. And he started improving. So much so that after 15 days or 20 days, he said, this is my second chance I have got in my life. He took his daughter, son-in-law, everybody, let us go for a vacation. He was, at least he was able to get up and walk, do everything on his own. So it was not much to do in vacation for her, for him. But he said, you all should come and I would just stay somewhere and you people would go around. And since then, he's the one patient who is monitored every 6 months. And his scan shows that those lesions in the lung and liver are there. They're not gone, but they are static. They are not growing. Number one. Number two, they also say that it might be what they're seeing is a scar.
Yeah.
But his quality of life tremendously improved. I will try to catch hold of Lisa if her father is able to come on your show. He goes around telling everybody in Chatham, Ontario here
Okay.
about this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but again, being very cautious, and science is science, I must say. This is not a silver bullet for every single cancer. We did test it. It works in petri dishes. It works in the animal model of cancer. But yet, when it goes to human, I do have some case report where pancreatic cancer patient took it. Maybe they felt a little bit better, but they did not survive. It was fatal. There was one patient who survived for 1 year, which was a big leap because pancreatic cancer doesn't give much time. So there are cases where the patients did not respond. So I must be very careful, very clear with that. Even with chemotherapy, not all the patients respond the same way. Not all the cancer respond the same way. I wish everybody was responding, then we wouldn't be doing this, basically. It will be a curative treatment, but that is not the case. My friend, who is an oncologist involved in clinical trial, told me that any new chemotherapy, when it goes to clinical trial, the rate of success, the condition for their approval is that it should show good effect in 1/3 of all the patients who took it, 33%. Because they know it is not going to work for everyone. Right. And second thing is, a major obstacle in chemotherapy clinical trial is the toxicity. Some of the drugs are not very effective, but they're not very toxic, so they are approved. In that case, he said dandelion root extract, which was approved for clinical trial, if let us say it went for phase 2 and 3, the company took it, it could be approved without any problem because it does not have any toxicity. As Health Canada said, it should not be going for phase 1. It should go straight to phase 2 and 3 because it does not have any toxicity. So, and I'm saying hypothetically, if 1/3 of the patient responded with Dandelion Root, like your husband, there is no toxicity, then it will be approved. And if it is approved, it should be the first line of treatment because it has no toxicity, right? If it does not work, you give other toxic drug.
Right.
Apparently, that could be a big trouble for some of the big pharma, and basically it will take away some business.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't believe in conspiracy theory or whatever. But one hypothesis is that if it non-toxic, simple, cheap treatment, cheap means inexpensive, is available, and if it is approved and people take it, it will be the first choice by any patient because it is non-toxic. And because of that business reason, any big company can just pay this company because most of the company natural health product, they are not very big. Their asset is between few million to maybe maximum 50 million. These companies can just pay 100 million, 200, 500 million and sell it. Again, I don't know. I don't have any proof. It is just the hypothesis. And I am hoping that a common sense and human passion should prevail, and these materials should be given a chance. And if they are available. And this is what I believe. I'm trying to convince oncologists through since 2009 when I started this project. It was very difficult initially, but it is an uphill struggle, but it is working. Nowadays, at least some good oncologists do believe that in stage 4, we have very limited choices. Mm-hmm. Without disclosing the name, I can tell you that one oncologist said that, and again, I appreciate oncologists. It is a very tough job. Being an oncologist, you deal with the patient with this disease, is horrible, and they care for the patient, and they lose their sleep over the patient because they know that we have put the drip in or the drug in, and poor thing, the patient would be suffering now. And how maybe he won't get any infection, immunocompromised, and so on and so forth. So they deal with lots of trauma, and I really appreciate their hard work. And that is the frontline team, the nurses and oncologists, and I have a great appreciation for them. So this, my friend oncologist said, if I am in that position where I am in stage 4, I would not take chemo himself. But he cannot say the same thing to patient due to ethics. He has to offer the treatment possibilities, and the patient or kin should choose one. Why? He said not to take, because he said that any treatment at stage 4 can only give you few months or 1 year or 2. It is not a cure anyway. It is just to stop the progression. And in doing so, you can get 1 or 2 years of life, but what quality of life? Most of these treatments are very, very toxic. Patients get very poor quality of life. And that is where he said that if you have something natural extract, which can improve the quality of life, he said very clearly, I don't care. It may work for 2 people, not for other people, that's okay. But at least it is not causing any trouble. So if I would be the one, I would take this risk rather than taking a toxic drug risk. So they are getting convinced, and it was very difficult to get oncologists to agree to do the trial with a natural health product. Nowadays, at least they are agreeing to it, at least. So it is moving, but it's very slow. You are right.
I know when I started taking it, I told my oncologist, and he went right to the pharmacist to, make sure it was safe. And they said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's safe to take. Just be on the lookout for any abnormal signs of anything changing. But nothing's changed except for me getting better.
That is fantastic. And what your oncologist did a fantastic job. I mean, he's like a god. I have never seen oncologist. When my patients say, they told the oncologist said, no way, we are not going to take anything. These things are non-scientific, useless. One pancreatic cancer patient, his wife is a scientist. She convinced the oncologist, and that her husband's oncologist told her that generally we do not allow anything to be taken during our chemo. His chemo was every week, intravenous. But he said that you are scientists, if you think that this material can help, we know that what we are giving as chemo is only 30% chance that it might give him few more months. But if you think that this will work, why should I take away that chance from you? Okay, not on the day of chemo, in between 6 days you can give. But this much persuasion, not everybody can do, like she did. And after 1 year, she sent the pathology of that patient. First thing, he was alive after 1 year, stage 4 pancreatic cancer patient. It was a big deal. And his counts, they are called CA19, is a marker for pancreatic cancer, like you had the CAS marker. And his reading was 2000 when he started taking it. And the last reading was something like ridiculous, 120 or something like that. So it has come down. But that was only one pancreatic cancer patient with a positive result. Again, I don't know what happened. I wish he was fine, but I don't know. But at least he survived 1 year. And maybe at the time he was very healthy. One oncologist group in India, which was a patient whom my friend's wife. So there I was put in contact with the oncologist. Me. He said that talk to him. I told him. And he said, that's fine. On the day of, it was a stage 4 cancer from cervix has already moved to lung. And it was the lung lesion which was fatal, basically, in bladder, lung, and lymph node, 3 places. And he said, we are giving cisplatin and Taxol. It is toxic, although it has, again, 30% chance that it will prevent the growth or reduce a little bit, but that is it. You can give this tea in between. It was 21-day cycle. And I have the data for that patient for all the 6 cycle. And she responded very well. Not only she responded very well, she was the only patient I know, and now I know you, who put on 5 pounds of weight during 6 cycle of chemotherapy. Generally, people become pretty much miserable at the end of the 6th cycle. Cisplatin is a very, very toxic drug, Taxol. And she did survive 4 years. Her tumor reduced to very low. Then it was at the wrong place and it was growing slowly. And she was taking it. So again, that is another case, I must say, where Dandelion did not act like a magic bullet and got rid of cancer. It was trying to prevent it from growth. She has a fabulous quality of life, as if she's cured, but that lesion was growing and growing. And after 4 years, so it is near the artery, it grows, and once it is pressed, the person chokes to death, basically, suddenly. And she died. So it is encouraging. And again, if it was 1 or 2 cases, I can say anecdotal. If my experiment did not show any result, it is anecdotal. But it is scientifically validated using all experimental procedures which were reused to develop chemotherapy. We are using the same technologies to test it. So if it passes all those stages, then how can anybody say it is non-scientific? It is scientific. Clinically, also it is proven. At least 1 case report published in the journal Blood. I shared that with you, Mr. DiCarlos. Out of 5-6 clinical case report, clinical trial patient, I know some of them, they are still alive. I'm trying to get that person to be on your show.
Okay.
But others, I don't know. Only doctors have the result. They did not share that with me. And these 157 anecdotal cases, for which I have the data for some of them, the actual pathological data, like you shared your report. So I believe that these materials do have scientifically and clinically proven way to go forward. There are two regions. Natural health product industry is not a big industry. It is not a big profit making industry. So it is not attracting people to develop this, number one. Number two, which I was told again and again, proprietary. Any natural extract you can't patent it because it is natural. So unless you have your own right on it, you are not going to bet your money on it. For dandelion root extract, we have a patent for the extraction procedure. That is the technology which was transferred to this company. Which we are not going to, if anybody wants to, like Dave, who is doing fantastic job, I will be very happy to test his material in my lab. And that's fine, because I don't breach the patent, because patent is a specific procedure of extraction, which I'm not going to share with nobody. Mm-hmm. It is already in public. People can use it, but if they do that, they will breach the patent. But
he said he could hook you straight up with the factory in New Mexico that makes it for him, his recipe. He said he would keep himself out of it, not profit from it, just go straight with that factory.
No, that will be perfect.
And they're FDA approved.
I will be looking forward to that, because then all these inquiries coming to me, I can tell them, buy this product. I have tested it. Because right now we are giving them a protocol they have to buy the root, make their own tea and take it. But if there is a ready-made product like you, it worked, maybe it would be working better than this, making home tea. So I will definitely test it. Yes, we do have, hopefully, one part of this work is that we have to do the drug NHP interaction with all chemo in many other cancer. That is one part. We don't have funding, so we stopped it. Second thing is preventative. People who already are in remission, they live in the fear that it might come back. So we have to do that experiment in those mice which automatically develop cancer, if we can feed them and prevent it. And that is where I was contacted by the foundation, the Hoover Foundation. And we are working on it. That lady is going to talk to those oncologists at the Columbus, Ohio. And their problem is that they can fund only American scientists or foreign scientists if they are collaborating with American scientists. Mm-hmm. That is the rule and regulation. So we are working on it. Hopefully it will go ahead. Then we can do those experiments. We are also, sure. We are also working on another possibility, which is basically we are testing this material to have a preventative effect. Some patients respond, some don't respond. Why? So for that, we have a project. It's still that we don't have resources. We have a way to find the genetic screening of that tumor. So if we have 5, 6 samples and treat them with this and see which one responds well, which one doesn't, then we can get their genetic profile. So in that way, we can say that those patients or those cancer with these genes expressed, they will respond to it. It is called stratification. In that case, the patients, these tests are done on the patients already with the tumor. They take the tumor biopsy, they do this genetic analysis. So they have the data and they can match it. Yes, if these genes are there, they will be responder. So they can make intelligent decision to give this material to them. Although my oncologist friend says, since this material is non-toxic, I don't care about genetic analysis. I'll give it to everybody. he makes sense. But scientifically, it makes sense that yes, these are the particular genetic profile in which it will work the best. And we can give some explanation why it doesn't work in this patient.
Right.
So that is where we are, and we are hoping that that goes ahead and we can complete this project. And with this video and your effort and your story, I really applaud your effort and appreciate your motivation and dedication. Through this, at least more people will be aware of it, so that as my friend says, it should not be 157 report. It should be 157,000 reports if people were aware of it.
Well, we appreciate all the work you've done, and if it hadn't been public and I hadn't been able to see it, I wouldn't have known to tell him, hey, let's try this, and got the result that we did. So we really appreciate all the
That is
work
so
you've
wonderful.
done because it saved his life. Because the
Thank you.
doctors told us some people choose to do nothing. That's the only alternative medicine we got. You know, you're going back on chemo, but some people choose to do nothing. The surgeon told us that after his bowel obstruction, and the oncologist told us that. Like, that's our only alternative is to do nothing. They said this is incurable, very aggressive. Some people choose to do nothing, like he's just hopeless. Like, and we were never given this alternative. And that's
Yeah,
my
because of
problem.
people are not aware of it.
Yeah.
Yes. That is another thing I would like to emphasize. I am a part of Natural Health Product Research Society. We are trying to enforce on the government to have the syllabus for medical students and pharmacy students, nursing students, to include one or two courses of natural health product traditional medicine, on the good basis that those materials which have been scientifically proven, they should be taught in this. Because I don't blame your oncologist or your pharmacist, because they were never taught about it.
Right.
So the new crop of students coming up, they should be aware of it. We are working hard. It is uphill task. And again, without going against scientists, without going against oncologists, just saying that if it is scientifically proven, it should be given a chance to be clinically tested. Since it is non-toxic, if it has beneficial effect, it should be appreciated and approved by medical community. So again, my doctor says that when the friends, that once you do the clinical trial and publish a clinical report on statistically showing the difference between the treated and untreated, that becomes the key thing. After that, clinicians will be very comfortable in suggesting it or prescribing it. It should be still an over-the-counter material. This material is not going to be prescription drug, but that clinical trial is a key thing. And I don't blame them, because the doctor is very worried. I have not seen any clinical report, nothing published. Yes, I have. In fact, one of my patient, my friend's friend who was a leukemia patient, he was trying to share all the scientific results. He took all my research papers actually and tried to convince that lady oncologist that this is here, can we take it? The oncologist was straightforward, no, unless it is a clinical report, I don't look at it. So people are all different category. So we are trying very hard, and we do have a research conference on natural health product and cancer every year. This year was done in the May. Next year will be done sometime in May, and I will make sure that you are aware of it, and you register for it and send to your friends.
Okay.
So that is where we share the latest result with those materials.
Okay.
So again, thank you for your effort, and I will try to see whomever I can get, those responded patients who
Okay.
can be on your show.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your hard work. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. It is
And
so
if
nice
you
to see you both.
and if you
Right.
need to talk to me, I'm not a patient, I'm your friend. So you can reach out to me
Thank
and talk.
Thank you. That is non-ethical. That is a good declaration. Yes, I will. I will. And I'm looking forward to talking to Dave at some time.
Okay. Yeah, he's looking forward to talking to you too.
Fantastic. You can share my cell number with him
Okay.
and my email, please.
Okay. I will.
Okay,
All right.
great.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
You take care.
You too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.